Good afternoon from sunny Iowa. If you notice a couple different things today, I am not outside on my front porch. I am here in my sitting room. I also have a visual aid. It is a pillow I brought this summer that I just thought was super cute, but it's actually not the visual aid that's going to go along with this post today. The visual aid is going to be the book I wrote this past winter, You Are Not Broken. I wrote this in response to a student who was working in my room with me in a small group. And when the small group wrapped up, I could tell that she was pretty upset. So I asked her to stay afterwards and sent the rest of the students off. And I asked her what was going on, and she broke down crying and said, "I'm working with you because I'm stupid." And stupid was a term I never let my students use when describing themselves. So when she used it, I felt very heartbroken for her. So I went home, and that weekend I started writing this book in response to how this particular student felt about herself, but also in general about how a lot of my students feel. I'm a special education teacher. I see students who get that special education stamp kind of feel like they're not capable, they're not competent, and it just really, it breaks my heart. So each year, my groups, I tend to give them a nickname. This particular student was part of my group who were fifth graders, and I called them my high flyers. Just because I was very proud of them that even though they were identified special education, they didn't let that stop them from working really hard to achieve and keep pace with peers. So I hope you enjoy my book. It is a video introduction for my post this month called Bruising Does Not Equal Brokenness. You Are Not Broken, written by Nicole S. Meyer. For my high flyers who inspired me to write this, and for all my students, past, present, and future, who were convinced they were sent to work with me because they were broken, let me tell you most assuredly, you are not. You looked up at me with those sad blue eyes, weeping tears, and whispered, "I'm working with you because I'm stupid." I tried to make light of it with a teasing smile and chuckled. Did you just use the S word? But deep inside, my heart ached for you. When I look at you, I see sparkly you, the student who works so hard against all odds. Like bubbles in a liquid, you keep rising to the top, even when others try to pop the fizz inside. But when you look in the mirror, your reflection is warped. You see the student who works with Mrs. Meyer, so that must mean you're broken. What does it mean to be broken? Does it mean you need to be fixed, that you are beyond repair? Does it mean that you are less than who you should be? How can you be less than who you should be if you are what you were meant to be right now in this moment? You are you. That should be enough. And if you are enough, how can you be broken? In reflecting on how many of my students hold this foolish belief that they are defective, I knew I had a problem to address. How can I convince all my students that they are not broken? I pondered, I observed, I planned. I was resolved to convince especially you, my high flyers, that you are not broken. After careful planning, I came up with a practical solution. On the following pages, I will present 6 common definitions of broken to you and demonstrate why none of them fit. It is up to you, dear high flyers, to use logic and reasoning to seek out the truth. Broken. 1. Forcefully split into fragments. This definition reminds me of when my daughter drops a glass as she is unloading the dishwasher. The glass hits the floor and shatters into dozens of pieces. It is a big mess that gets swept up. Every shard is thrown away. If this definition describes you, wouldn't that mean we needed to throw you away? Are you disposable? Of course not. You are important and vital members of planet Earth, not things to be easily discarded. Dear high flyers, this definition is ill-suited. Let's move on. broken to, injured or distorted by, or as if by shattering, such as having endured or been subjected to a break. Clearly, this definition will not work. You are not wearing a cast. On the outside, you are in one piece. On the inside, however, you may feel all sorts of bruises. Other students tease you about working with me. They imply that you must be stupid. Nevertheless, high flyers, you must keep in mind that bruising does not equal brokenness. Despite the taunting from others, you have not quit, nor have you given up. Every single day you give 100% in all you do. Sorry, high flyers, this definition could never describe you. That's all I'm going to share. My hope and my goal is to get this published this year. I will be taking a year off of teaching to accomplish that. I also have a series that I'm planning that I will be working on the first book of and hope to have ready by next spring. Wish me well, and we will see you in the month of September.